A major Formula One story has just broken. A report in Germany has stated that the Andretti Sauber Formula One acquisition talks are now off of the table. I have been able to confirm through my sources close to the situation that these reports are indeed true. Let's talk about it. So yeah, this I do believe, absolutely, because the person I confirmed this with is the same person that told me way back at Gateway that, hey, Andretti's talking to Sauber. So this is the report that comes from Auto, Motor, and Sport. It came off of their podcast and was translated to English through Twitter. Michael Schmidt, who is one of the contributors to Auto, Motor, and Sport, says about the Andretti Sauber talks. First, it was said that it was put on hold. We did talk about that in just a couple of videos ago. And now we hear that it is completely off of the table. Apparently, the price is too high. There's a specific price for the team plus bank guarantee, and the paddock says that is around $250 million. Wow. So, it appears that the Andretti Autosport Formula One dream, at least for next year, has died. I have a lot of thoughts about this because obviously this not only has Formula One implications, but it has IndyCar implications. The first thing is a thought that I had and expressed in the last video talking about Andretti going to Formula One, and that is the fact that the American-led Liberty Media, I am surprised, and quite honest, not just surprised, a bit shocked, honestly, that they did not see this opportunity and, get it across the finish line. I don't want to accuse them of not trying to get it across the finish line, but I kind of feel like, I know that Formula One, while it is growing in America, like I said in the last video, that is apparent, that is obvious. The thing that was really going to put it over the top, in my opinion, was having a marketable American driver ready to go and ready to compete, if not win races. And Colton Herta was the one who fit that description. Also, it doesn't hurt to have an American team. Obviously, I know Haas is an American team, but having an American team come over that shares the name of your last American world champion, it almost seemed like something too good to be true. But I will say that the red flags started blaring immediately, or the distress horns, I guess you could say, when there was not an announcement made at Circuit of the Americas. Jenna Fryer and several others had reported that Colton Herta was looking like he was going to get a Friday test day with the Alfa Romeo team. Of course, that fell through, and that, I think, should have been our second warning sign. The fact that you didn't announce it at the United States Grand Prix, and the fact that you were potentially going to have a driver who was going to partner at that team, an American driver, drive during free practice. But now it seems it's fallen apart. $250 million for a Formula One team, but of course it's not that simple. As we know, it's come out that the way Andretti was going to purchase Sauber Formula One was not directly, because they got rejected to just buy the team. They had to buy the Swiss bank, which owns 80% of the Sauber Formula One team, and thus take a controlling interest in that team. And of course, $250 million was that price. Now, exactly why it fell through, because the thing that I had heard, and I had heard it again, not from the source who told me about Sauber, but during the Gateway weekend, I heard from someone who, again, this is someone who would abso-freaking-lutely know what Andretti Autosport can and cannot pay to do things in auto racing, and that's as specific as I will be, but trust me on this one. This person told me that they definitely had the money for a Formula One team. The question and the thing that changed between now and then is that, yes, I think Andretti Autosport does have the money to buy a Formula One team. But the complication was, and what appears to have sunk this deal, is that they did not have the money to buy a Swiss bank. I do have to say, I do feel this is a missed opportunity in America for Formula One. Now, personally, again, what I had said about Andretti Autosport, but to a greater extent, the fact that they were looking at bringing Colton Herta over, I always felt that they should take it a little bit slow than just toss him into the deep end. Do I think he could handle it? Yes. But do I think the expectations and pressure of Formula One would take its toll, even if it doesn't necessarily take its toll on Herta himself? I believe it would have happened. So, I didn't think it was a great idea to throw him into the deep end right away, and I certainly felt like everything was happening very, very fast. So I guess, I said this again in another video, is that it's a good thing for IndyCar because you are going to keep one of your most marketable stars in Colton Herta. But that has created a bit of an issue because, like I will talk about in the video you will see later tonight, Andretti has an issue right now where they have more drivers than cars, and this has now been exacerbated by Colton Herta apparently going to be staying in IndyCar next year because there will be no Formula One ride available to him. Indy Lights champion Kyle Kirkwood is a part of the team and presumably is going to have a seat somewhere at Andretti Autosport. I don't know what's going to happen. This is my guess of what's going to happen. I had heard a few things, so this isn't totally speculation, but this is my educated guess of what we'll see happen. Herta will stay in the 26. That's not surprising. Gainbridge is backing him. That's the top Andretti car. Why would you mess with a good thing if he's not going to Formula One? I believe that despite the fact that Honda is supposedly booked at 18 engines for next year, and that includes the Indy 500, I believe they will have a 19th. I believe there will be a 5th full-time Andretti Autosport car. I believe Kyle Kirkwood will be the driver, and I believe Vassar Sullivan Racing will be the partner on that car. Again, we'll have to see exactly how it all works out, but I believe that's where it's headed in IndyCar terms. Man, it's, again, I've got mixed feelings on it. I've had mixed feelings on this for the entire time because I was very torn on the issue. Yes, IndyCar potentially losing Colton Herta, which it seems like they're not going to. That would have been a bad thing for IndyCar. But on the whole, internationally, having the Andretti name represented in Formula One once again, having them led by a young, brash American driver, along with Valtteri Bottas, who has scored the most points of any driver since he announced he was leaving Mercedes. It's kind of a shame that it seems like this opportunity has slipped away, but when it's officially confirmed, if it's officially confirmed, maybe we're just going to continue to hear hearsay until the Formula One season starts and Alfa Romeo is sans the Andretti name. So thank you guys so much for watching. Got a video coming later tonight, so I hope to see you there as well. We'll see you in the next video.